Hello and welcome to Blood on the Severn, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set on Bristol, England in the year 2017. With me tonight,
Bex playing Nantazar of the Ministry.
Peter playing Janusz Kroll of Clan Chimitzer.
Rob playing Dermot Bryan of Clan Malkavian.
And Alice playing Matilda Wells of Clan Ventru.
and our guest for tonight,
Josh and my dog, if you can hear that in the background, playing Carl Frédéric Saint-Jacques de Taureau of Clan Torero. I don't have my rose today. I only have my puppet.
Well, thank you very much, Josh, for joining us tonight, and thank you for joining us for the third episode of season 3. Wow, time is moving. So a quick recap of what happened last episode, with the main points would be, well, after a tough negotiation between Matilda and Cassiel, it was agreed that actually, yes, there is some validity to the claims that Lyra had from that old and forgotten accord, but she cannot be made the voice of the anarchs in that conversation. Therefore, slightly renouncing to the victory that either way was null and void. So nothing much lost there, but still, it hit her a little bit in her ego. Janusz had sided with Cassiel following protocol, while Nangisel and Dermot had decided to side with Teach, as in, let's talk about this first. Afterwards, Roger Smith was awakened in the presence of Matilda, and his first question was, how long has it been, and then what has happened? He was brought to speed, and it was very clear that the situation as a whole did not sit well with him, but he would side slightly with the compromise struck between Matilda and Cassiel. The librarian would be awoken, but he would not have control over the boons. Any other measures he seemed fit were still in place. The Coterie did various things. Nangisel, importantly, was very hungry, and Dermot was trying to make contact with, he succeeded in making contact with his prince, and then he asked him for some help. There were some visions that came out through the earring that was found that evening, but I believe the Coterie will explain those in more detail in our next scene, so I will leave it to them for them to do it. Two interesting things happened. Matilda managed to finally have a chat and drink with Ayesha, her touchstone, someone who reminded her of not letting herself being controlled by anyone. Well, Janusz was presented with a miracle of the faith, if you believe in such things. Sane apparently has been given a gift by the gods, where he could hear whispers about the downfall of the king being the rebirth of the children of summer. The night ended, and as agreed, the following night, Dermot has made arrangements to have a video chat from Bristol to Paris through Christine, a diligent ghoul of the de Taureau family, who makes everything secure on her end, while Dermot makes sure everything is safe on his side of things. So the Coterie will gather in the HQ a few minutes before the call, so you have a chance to interact before everything starts. I would imagine Dermot has a big screen TV hooked up to this, like on the wall, a massive, 56 or 60 inch TV hooked on this.
It's either that or a projector.
Well,
Do
that
it on
yeah,
the wall.
more likely to be a projector. So yes. So you're in the HQ. It's a few minutes before 8, which is the agreed time for the chat. Before we go there, we have a roll to make. Last session saw Dermot gaining stains by siding with Matilda. He failed to support his clan. In fact, yeah, he did have a way of shielding some of the stains, but at least one got through. So I believe it would be time for you to make a remorse check.
Yep. I think there's only the one stain, so
Yeah,
let's see what happens.
you will have 2 remorse dice. So, wow. Dermot has 2 successes on his 2 dice. So you do not lose humanity, but you feel remorse. It doesn't sit very well with you that you had to go against your faction, but specifically your clan on this. So of course that will sort of paint the way you see the following nights and your reactions going forward, but at least your soul is safe for now. So now it's a few minutes before 8, and you are all in the HQ. So take it away, guys.
How uncomfortable does Janusz look around all this technology?
Oh, that's a good question. Peter?
How subtle is the technology? Placement.
Probably. I mean, it's probably just a covered projector. Nothing much more than that. I mean, it'll just be plugging in. The computer will be elsewhere, so it'll be relatively subtle.
So probably not that disturbed because nothing's like flashing or whizzing yet, right? So it's just some boxes and some things covered up. So he probably looks all right.
Bit like an old-fashioned cinema, almost.
Yeah. Okay. So are you?
So I'll say, I know you've got have this chat with Carl now, but I think after that, it'd be helpful if me and Dermot filled you in on some stuff we got up to last night. Because I think you're gonna want to know about it. We went down to the church. Found out some useful things.
Yes, I would be most interested to hear more.
I don't think there's time now. But
No.
But it is worth saying we found a link back to that Tremere. So I think that's worth raising with Carl.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. I got pictures of it on my phone. And, well, it's more complicated than we can talk about here. But I reckon let's see what he says first. And then...
Yes, it will be interesting to hear what he has to say and whether he has had time to clear his mind since his last time here.
What was wrong with him?
Well...
He seemed okay when he left for me, but I suppose I didn't see him much before he left.
I think Janusz was talking about the sort of...
Incoming call.
What?
Alright,
Oh.
yeah.
Fair enough. I'll sort out the receiving and getting everything set up.
Yeah, everything's set up. Someone is on the other line. Is a woman's voice. She makes sure that everything is connected securely and safely. And she says, "Well, that whenever you're ready, they're ready to go on audio and video."
Right, switch it on.
Okay, so the projector flares to life, in the wall.
Ah, hello.
All right,
yeah,
Carl.
I-
okay.
How lovely to see you all. Can you imagine, Janus? I am here. I am in front of you, and yet I am also in Paris. How does that make you feel?
Nanjadal, can you tell the image of Carl that I'm glad to see he is still in good health?
Thank you. I can hear you perfectly.
Carl, dial it back a bit, right?
Dial it back.
I mean, never mind.
You mean what?
Never mind.
How are you all? You're all looking absolutely marvelous, I must say.
I've got to say, I've been better.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
How's it in Paris?
How's you and yours?
Well, the Champs-Élysées is beautiful as always, of course. It is a city in which one can find moments of transcendence as easily as the one you are in, perhaps even easier.
You're saying you can't find moments of transcendence in Bristol, because let me tell you that is not the case.
I said as easily, perhaps even easier. Have you
what's the
had your
crack in the
election
court?
The
yet? Are you in
election?
charge yet,
Uh,
Tilda?
no, it's the election went a bit haywire.
A lot's been going on, Carl. That's why we're
Haywire? What?
Yeah,
Did you have an election?
of sorts. It got sabotaged.
It went tits up, is what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me think. I was going to write you an ode, an ode to your success, and now you haven't. I'll have to change the end of it.
Yeah, no, you can keep it, store it away for a bit later.
I thought I wasn't sure if it had happened yet, so I thought I could write you some copy for your.
Yeah, no.
But what I have so far, and yes, I'll just change the end. Yes, it starts in triumphal mood, but obviously, yes.
Dermot, why is his head so large?
That's what happens when you go to Paris.
Yes, you do. Your head swells up, Janus. Have you not been?
It is as if you fill the wall, Carl.
Well, I like to fill every wall and every room that I'm in, and I'm doing my best. Anyway, but I'd like to read this ode before we move on.
Please
while I have it in me. With mesmerizing eye, commanding voice, Matilda bestrides Bristol's politics. If you're voting, the only sensible choice, not just policy, but fun and frolics. I know not how you annex, elect and choose, but leadership in Matilda dwells. So set policy and vision loose. The only sensible choice is our Wells.
Oh.
And then cut to my appalledness now. And now I hear that she is spurned. The Anak fools have played to type. The whole faction should probably be burned. But hush, Camarilla Mouth, you mustn't snipe. No more politics, just a single face. Matilda is the Anak's saving grace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll have you back over in Bristol and you can deliver it face to face at some point.
Well, that would be a pleasure. I'm here, I'm busy. My family keeps me busy, although Christine, of course, is a great help. But what of news for you? Do you have any questions for me? I imagine I've been summoned to this two-dimensional wall form that Janus so hates, not just for this catch-up.
Oh, there's a bit of badness happening down here. So I think these guys tend to know better where you're up to and all. So
Plus ça change, as we say over here.
How much have you heard about what's going on in Bristol? Have you heard anything?
I haven't really. I imagined that everything was all right, as I hadn't. No one's told me anything.
Do you remember people was going around chopping people's heads off? Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You remember that? Because it happened more than once since we were in here. Anyway, turned out we was following the person who did it. Turned out they had it in for one of the anarchs on election night. was
Really?
building up to lopping their head off.
Ah.
So as was, Dermot and Matilda went and followed them back to the, tracked them down to a place out
Aye.
near a warehouse.
Right.
They fucking Jack stole the election and all. It was crazy.
Yeah. They sorted out getting the Society of Leopold to attack some of the elections. That was a cover. But guess what, Carl?
Mm-hmm.
Rolls on into the warehouse, and guess who's standing there? Bloody high as you like, laughing her head off. Culprit all along. Guess who? Little orphan fucking Annie, that's who. Yeah. Yeah, really. Because guess what? None of this would have happened if we would have put her in a box, just like I said.
Well,
But over and above that, Carl, she's no Malkavian.
Aye.
She's Tremere.
She's a fucking little bitch.
really interesting.
Masquerading herself around as what she isn't. She needs to be dealt with. Traitor to the sect. Traitor
Do
to...
you have her in custody?
She got away before we could. She is
She's
very
old,
bold.
Carl.
She's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember, Carl, there was a night when you were to be hunted and we fought together in my home?
Yes.
But that before then you had been hidden away somewhere safe.
Oh, don't remind me of that place.
Well,
That's my house, oi.
you recall...
I realise it's your house, and I'm glad that you live there, but I don't want to visit.
Carl,
again.
this is not the time for babbling. Listen, this is important.
So,
You
are
were
my
hidden away somewhere
sensibilities-
safe. You're babbling, Carl. I can't... Don't make me repeat myself. You were hidden somewhere safe.
What?
And we
Well, I don't
came.
know. He's just insulting me now.
We
It's fine.
came to...
No. I'll be with you in a minute. It's okay. Just no. It's fine. Sorry. You came to what?
You are trying my patience, Carl. I am trying to speak of matters concerning your life.
Good. Thank you.
When we came to get you from your place of safety, no one knew where you were except for us.
That's
Well, even
good.
the society knew where you were.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that urged us to go, that persuaded us that you were in danger, was Annie, who had a vision, supposedly, of your death.
Right.
That night. She was the one who got us to bring you out of hiding so that you could be attacked.
Mhm.
The visions that you shared with her, Carl, we can no longer trust them.
Well, Annie was alone with me on a plane, and I was resting. She had plenty of opportunities to destroy me, and didn't. So
That
I'm
would
not
have been obvious, wouldn't it?
sure if perhaps, I don't know. I don't think that destroying me was necessarily her ulterior motive.
No, she had beef with more than just you. Or even if she may not have had beef with you in the first place, it may have been other people. You might have just been a tool to an end.
She was always very kind to me.
Carl,
She
there
may-
was
She
one
may be
vision.
coming back here soon.
There was one vision you had. Do you remember in
Mhm.
Scott's place when me and you was there,
Yes.
and Annie wasn't there, and you had a vision about the Red Queen,
Oh, the Queen of
remember.
Blood. Yes.
Queen of Blood,
Queen.
right?
Yes.
Well-
it would make sense if she were the Queen of Blood,
Right,
because
right, you are.
looked-
She were.
she looked on me very favorably. And although others were in great danger from her, I knew instinctively that she would not harm me.
But she is tied up with the society, Carl. She's thick as thieves with them. I found out stuff about it yesterday. Otherwise than that, if that's the case, that means she might have been the one who set them on you. Remember that twat who threw that stuff in your face?
I do remember that. How could I forget? Still in certain lights,
Messed your face up and all that?
I look in a glass and can still see the faint lines of those
What's a good
I
chance
think-
it was her?
scars in my beauty. What?
There's a good chance it was her.
Oh, I would like to talk to her about that. We always got on.
In your vision, Carl, you said you saw a queen of blood. Did you see a king?
No.
Did you see a
I saw a
pawn?
knight.
A knight.
No, Caleb.
Out of character, I think this is true because I can't remember.
Yes. You did see. You did.
This is a long
you
time
did see
ago.
a knight, and
That's got to be
and you
Caleb,
also-
who was in it with her, Carl. Caleb, when he was there,
She was
his
anointing
mind was all
him.
messed up.
She was anointing him or knighting him. And
She was doing something
he
with him.
was
Tell me.
he was off to do her bidding,
Yeah.
and there would be much blood.
Yeah.
Well, that's true as you like.
Was there anything else in that vision? Was it just
What-
the Queen and the Knight?
Do I remember anything else? Carl?
you remember her going from the knight towards a pawn.
All right, from and I'm not the pawn because I was there. as well.
No. You were.
Yeah, there is also a pawn. There was a pawn. I can't remember what color it was. Maybe they were all the blood color.
It was definitely with not the best of intents. She was addressed when you see the pawns on the chessboard that they're like little formation. She was addressing. She was heading towards the pawns.
Okay.
What, like she was going to do him in?
Yes, yes. Like
So she was about to destroy pawns, as is the queen's right, I suppose, on the chessboard. And elders would say it is their right to destroy neonates, perhaps.
She is old and she's a Tremere. Any chance that what you are seeing as visions, she's put in your head somehow?
I would have thought the one in which she saved Matilda's life, which didn't come true,
actually, Matilda, that happened,
Yeah,
but not
it did.
that way.
not in the way that we
Something-
thought. I mean, that
something
we
like that
we all thought in the
happened.
house that was that vision coming true. It's possible,
Bitch.
but I think that she may have used the bond that we found simply to inveigle her way into our coterie, perhaps.
Did she ever say anything to you about? I mean, did she ever say anything that felt like it was honest? I mean, she's probably lying the whole time. But did you ever have any
Yeah,
knowledge
and
of-
she would not have been able to lie from inside a fucking box, would she? Everything about this would have been better if we would have just done what I said.
I think Tremeres are able to get out of boxes,
Not when
ancient
There's-
ones.
3 foot of wood sticking out their chest. Don't matter who you are, you ain't getting up from that.
Hindsight's
I see. There were stakes involved as well as boxes. You
How
never
else do you
mentioned
think
that
I'm putting
before.
someone in a box? I don't just mean I'm actually putting them in a box. I mean, I'm putting them out.
Carl, does Annie know where you are now?
Oh yes, she's been here.
You seem very calm about that.
Well, Vienna has fallen, London has fallen, other cities are.
Everywhere she goes, that's what I'm. She was in London, then she was in Bristol.
She is most likely the Tremere that committed diablerie on our domain.
Remember
She
Jonathan Fowler?
knows. She
It may well
knows
be.
where you are and comes to visit often. I see nothing to be calm about there.
She hasn't come to visit often. She came with me when I came at first, but hasn't been back.
Carl,
Yeah.
she's committed crimes against the traditions, and I think whilst I might need just to have a word with the prince and all about it, but it might be useful, if she's committed those crimes here, that maybe some others elsewhere recognise that she's equally a traitor against the sect.
Perhaps you can circulate what she looks like, her information about her in Paris, just so people are aware.
Yes, she might flee from here to you. She might consider
possible.
you a safe port.
It is possible, and should she do that, then I will do my best to detain her.
You should let us know if she contacts you.
Don't try and detain her on your own. She's no joke.
She's too much.
Well, my family is here, and some of my forebears, who are, of course, still with us, are rather powerful in their own right. So, and certainly are well connected among the Camarilla in Europe. So I should be able to quietly get the word out about this.
Well, perhaps rather than proclaiming around in some kind of blood hunt or such, if you do get news that she might be coming around that way, then obviously putting her in a box and sending her back to us would be greatly appreciated.
Right on. And I don't think she's acting for the Tremere. I think she's acting on her own.
Well, it certainly looks that way.
So the Tremere are going to be pretty keen on having a word with her as well, I would think.
Well, our Tremere friend is still in Bristol, is he not?
Oscar. Right.
Yeah. You could talk to him about it.
I can't talk to him.
I intended on having
Well,
a
I
chat
know
with the
he's difficult to talk to. I mean, I could talk to him perhaps in this same uncanny method with which I'm talking to you, Yanis, right now.
I reckon Matty or Dermot can do it.
Yeah,
good.
One of us. It might be worth telling people that Caleb is also involved, or just, I mean,
hold your horses. Because we've got to speak to Obasi, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, don't do that. Just wait for that.
Yeah, it turns out that maybe she's got a little loyal lapdog in the form of Caleb.
We knew that.
So, you know.
Well, you know.
She's got the leash tight, so again, if you see any sign of him, she's probably not far away.
Yes. Yes. If I see a shark plushie, I shall run like hell. Well, yes. Perhaps my cousin Angelique might be useful in that case. Another rather young-looking individual. Yes, I will make inquiries, and I will alert people this side of the channel about it all. You can rest assured. Is there anything else?
Well, it seems like Jan was saying we have finally got to the bottom of who killed Jonathan Fowler. I remember that was important to you at one time. I hope it still is.
It is.
Because if nothing else, she's coming here pissed all over our domain. I think that at the very least, that means if she rocks up at your place and she wants sanctuary, then you're well within your rights to turn her down.
Well, I would like proof.
Proof?
I'd like to talk to her.
What, you think she's going to tell you the truth?
She might.
I can send
she's going to lie to you like she lies to everyone.
I can show you a picture of my deep-fried friend that she set on fire. That's enough proof for you. She's bad news, Carl.
I know she's your mate and all, and I know you advocated for her when no one else did.
We've shared moments, it must be said, and I apologise if I was so deeply wrong about her.
Well, I don't think I hold you at fault for that. I'm just saying.
But, I mean, you too, as well, were I must say, you with attempting to recruit her into the your cult.
What? What about cult?
Yes, what are you talking about?
Have you grown beyond the children of summer now? That's good news.
I find myself tiring of this conversation, but I will give you a piece of advice before I go.
Oh, will you? Oh, how?
Yes, you said you might speak to another using this same arcane method that is provided.
Mm-hmm.
But I would warn that if you do so, whoever you speak to may see the mark on your face as clearly as I do. You may not want that. And I will turn and I'll leave.
Okay.
Ah, good old Yanis. Is there anything else before I go?
Yeah, I had something to chat to you about. Do you two mind?
I'm off anyways, so I will drive Janusz back. So I'll catch up with you all later.
Sure.
I'll go after Janusz.
Well, goodbye, and
cheers,
be well.
Carl.
Be well.
Keep well.
I'll pop back into the studio and just give me a knock when you're finished. Tilda.
Yeah. Right.
It's nice to see you, Carl, and good to see you're in good health.
Fine, Fettel.
Right, when Dermot's gone, I'll just say, nicely done with Yanish.
You're welcome.
Why do you antagonize him?
What? It is our relationship. I have
Yeah,
antagonized him for decades.
Yeah. I think he was a bit miffed, though. It's the first time we've spoken to him in a while.
That's true. But, you know, what is a few months or years for us?
Yeah. That's been a
Time
long
goes
few
quickly.
days. How is Christine?
She's well. She chafes at the bonds of the blood.
Still.
But this is all we have. She has told me of her offer to you.
Yeah. Did she say what I replied to her? What I said?
Well, I know what you replied because she is not one of us. So I thank you for that. Not meddling in my family's affairs.
I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't a very easy choice. She was very distressed.
She can be persuasive. But she is a de Taureau. And we have settled our differences, and we are both working together to get her what she wants. It may not be soon.
Okay.
But it may be.
Well, that's good. As long as you just keep working towards it. Because she's a de Toro, but she's also Christine.
Yes,
family,
and she is
person.
she is invaluable to my family, but my the senior members of my family do not see that.
Or make them see it.
They praise me for her work, which I find rather distressing, because the work that she does is very prosaic and involves numbers and money. It involves the long view, the glacially long view. Some of the things that she's done, she's planting seeds for decades hence. And, well, she is an artist in her own way, but it is not an art that I can understand.
No. That's nice. I mean, it's good to have someone that short to your cheese.
It is. But it makes it difficult because that is why I was chosen and not her, because it is our clan. If it were yours, then they would have snapped her up in the beating of a dead heart.
Yeah. She'd be an asset.
She would.
Sure.
She is an asset.
She
but
is.
my clan is not.
Well, make them see the artistry in it.
It is a slow process, but we are doing our best.
Good. We're not joking about Annie.
I understand that.
Yeah,
But it is my way to take these things lightly on the
know.
surface and comprehend them deeply. Even Yanis knows that when he has got over himself. May take decades to do that, to be honest, but
might be a while.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe write a poem, ode to Annie, a sonnet of betrayal.
I have, I think, written one before. I may have to change it, perhaps. Write another draft.
Revisions would be good. All right, keep in touch. Don't be a stranger.
I won't. I shall be back sooner than you know it.
Good. See ya.
Good. Good luck in your next election.
All right. Cheers.
And with that, the conversation draws to a close. There is in Carl's mind, though, that conversation he had with Annie on the plane, still ringing in his ears now that he realizes that she could have meddled with his visions and his sight in some way? The sort of heart to hearts you had, were they real at all? Well, so many questions will plague now Carl's
Some
mind.
sleepless days may be ahead, but we may get to the bottom of it.
Well, thank you very much, Josh, for reprising the role of Carl.
You're welcome. And if you need me again, you know where I live.
We do, definitely. So we're gonna go into a short transition, and we will be right back. Thank you very much, Josh.
Farewell.
Hello and welcome back. And thank you again to Josh for being around, reprising the role of Carl. So after that conversation, Matilda and Dermot are in the HQ, and Nanjasil and Janesh. Nanjasil went to look for Janesh to drive him back. So
I think Dermot would have probably gone straight out to look for the couple of them and ask whether or not we want to discuss the events of last night, as Nanj had been mentioning.
Yes, so I think I'm unless Janusz has taken off a pace, which I think is unlikely.
He is not. He is not revealing his secret sprinter background.
He's not secretly got full celerity or something.
No.
Like a,
No, so he's gone off in a half, but he's not gone very fast.
So when I caught up to him,
Yeah.
I think my play would have been to bring him back to the HQ for the reasons that Dermot was just outlining.
Yeah.
So if he's amenable to that,
I think if you're dangling info on the church, then yes, he will come back.
Yeah.
I'm dangling info on the church.
Come on, Janusz. Information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes.
like the carrot in front
Yeah.
of his eyes.
He'll come back.
Okay.
But he will look.
I'll
Bit
text Dermot
scruntled.
to say we are on the way back. Maybe 20 minutes or so. I don't know.
So I imagine that he will, not necessarily going to do this as a scene, but on the way back,
Yes.
he will be grumbling
I will be.
about
Yes.
various things that have gone
Yes.
on. You know.
I imagine that I will be in his corner, so to speak.
So probably like as we're approaching the kind of wherever it is that these two are, yeah, I should probably say something like and wherever he might be, we were standing in our domain. That is not how you speak to someone in their domain. It's just simply not appropriate.
I'll have a look that crosses my face. It's a bit like, I never thought of it that way. I'll then be like as outrageous as him.
Oh my god.
It's like, yeah, you always have the sage information. I'll go.
So I will slow down a bit when we get into the is the projector screen still on or is it off?
Yeah.
It's a
probably.
trigger, so we might have turned it on.
By the time you get back, it'll be dealt with.
Okay, cool.
We dealt with.
Yeah, he just rolls it up.
Put it away. Quickly.
I'll fetch a chair for you.
Thank you, Nanjasal. It's I'll sit down. It's perhaps now we can have a more civil discourse.
It was salty, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think maybe it's just the Parisian, air getting to him. I hear they can be a little bit bitchy over there.
But he was believing her over us. All that time we spent together.
I think maybe he was just sore at the fact that, he'd put his trust in somebody who then clearly betrayed him. And sometimes you can get a bit salty when that happens,
Perhaps so. Or perhaps she has gotten to him in the same way she got to Caleb.
I reckon something in his head is what she changed. I don't reckon it's that he don't have visions, because clearly he does. But I reckon she was using him.
Just saying, he took it awfully calmly.
Well, I think to be fair, he hasn't been here for the last few months. He hasn't really experienced how shit it was for us. Well, the last few days, anyway. I mean, I don't think it's...
He still asked us
for days he should have been, but he doesn't realise the stakes.
He asked us for proof. 5 years we were together, and he's asking us for proof. Like we would just phone him up and lie to him. It ain't on.
Yeah.
So we was going to talk about some other things.
Yeah, your information.
Yeah.
Hey, well, things went well.
We went down to church, which is not a thing I thought I'd be saying.
Yeah.
To be clear.
And were you discovered? Did you?
No. We're pretty good at being, nondescript, aren't we?
We just kept out of the way of the things that was trying to see us and, slipped through the cracks.
Dermot found some stuff in the computers, and I went to the records to look for mentions back as far as the 1970s. What they were saying about and everything. But I don't know. Do you want to go first, Dermot?
No, you go ahead. I'll follow up.
So I didn't have the records you was talking about, but I did find these. I'll produce the pictures that I took. Is it reasonable that I kind of got Dermot to print these on paper, such that I don't have to show Janusz on my phone?
Yeah, it's fairly simple.
I'll produce the tournament records, and I'll say, "This is that chess tournament he was on about."
Oh yes, I remember.
Right, and this is all the people who was in it. Look at this. I'll point out the name that said, what did it say? It said the Red Queen, was it?
No.
What was the name?
Was it Annie Weston?
Annie
Turner.
Anne Turner.
I'll say,
Anne Turner.
look at this name. Annie Turner. She was in the tournament. And look at her move sheets from the games. See if you think that matches up with Carl's visions, because it looks about right to me. She's replaying some sort of match, and this is who she was playing with.
He mentioned something to me of a young chess player who was gifted but very nervous, very unsure, who sounded, now we have our information, very much like the persona that Annie presents.
Your friend is one of these pawns, you think?
I'm not so sure. So Janusz is going to start looking at these bits of paper with the chess moves on.
I can't say as I know chess strategy.
Now, did you say last session? Did you also say you had like the rankings?
Yes, I had all. I got all the stuff.
Yeah. And
like
where's Annie in the Where's Annie in the rankings?
She was climbing really high, like. Basically, on those rankings, on that is a very small tournament. But whomever was doing the rankings, keeping track of the rankings, is very clearly familiar with the ELO ranking system. And it sounds like Annie was being set. Annie's ranking was being set in that tournament, so she started like very low and rocketed up. But at some point, she stopped. That's it. Once she lost one of the matches. So no more information.
On the tournament sheet, sorry, when did they happen? What are the dates of the tournament?
Oh, yes. They are from a month ago.
A recent one,
Oh, they are a month ago, okay. Yeah.
So it also, the sheet that had the moves that I recognised from Carl's vision, I think I want to look at that game in detail, who she was playing. And is it the game she lost?
Yes, it is the game she lost.
Okay, who was she playing?
She was playing someone by the name Harry Jacobs.
Harry Jacobs. Can you find out stuff out about him, Dermot? This Harry Jacobs.
I can do a bit of search, see what I can find. If he's aligned to that stuff, then no doubt
That
he'll be
name
around.
from point of view. He's not
No.
like us. I don't take it.
Is Harry Jacobs top of the rankings?
Nope.
Who is?
Is someone? It's Father Michael and somebody else, someone by the name of Gina Williams.
Are they joint top, or is one of them
Your joint top.
joint top? Okay.
Simon Mate, who's top.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is very interesting indeed.
I don't know much about this chess stuff and all, but this whole ranking thing, that thing's like, is that just like, it doesn't look like something they just do here in the church, is it, or is it someone else like taps
It's a
into
national
it?
ranking system, isn't it?
Mhm.
Or international. It ranks you and gives you your chess ranking if you're a master or grandmaster or whatever.
Yeah. The
You
church
actually
yes, organizes them.
in qualified tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so presumably if you have to apply to qualified tournaments, you need to do it as the person, you need to be registered. So I'm guessing if she or any of the others are playing in other tournaments elsewhere, we might be able to get information on where else they played and when.
But also, what's a little church group of 20 people doing having a qualified chess tournament? I mean, it's
Well,
peanuts, right?
It's got to happen somewhere. I mean, it's pretty isn't it?
I think, I don't know if it's just me or everybody else is robotic.
yeah, I think
Everything's
Yeah.
frozen.
Everything brief.
Time now, it's funny
yes.
now.
Yeah, Bristol's pretty big in the southwest, so it might be like a southwest tournament or something.
Might be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like going through it, it is part of the national circuit. It just seems like the church organized it or volunteers. Sometimes it's schools or universities. In this case, was this church?
I mean, if they've all got rankings and the rules.
Yeah.
International, well, nationally ranked.
Well, these ones are local. That's why they have those rankings are for people that are local, and Father Michael is around them.
If you are able to learn who these people are, it would be interesting to see if any of them correspond with those that you saw, Nanjzel, that night
If you
when the
could
attack
find
happened.
pictures of them or addresses, so I'll go and do a recce, see if they're the same people.
Because if perhaps I'm getting fanciful, maybe Carl is getting to me, but what if some of these matches perform a form of communication, a way to speak about things that were going to happen or to strategize without openly discussing it in such a way that might be overheard?
Could be.
I think that's what.
But also, a ranked tournament like this requires all of them to meet on a regular setting, on a regular schedule, in a way that doesn't raise eyebrows and so on.
Right.
There'll be many ways to do
If
that.
you saw it in a diary, you wouldn't ban
Well,
it, would you?
Yeah, the question is there a sort of consistent date that they meet on every month? So you can, I mean, will something happen in the near future that you can recce? Like, is it on the second week of every month? Is there a pattern?
I mean, I'll be
Or
honest.
just have a
if I
check
were-
for whatever. I mean, presumably they have a chess club or a chess tournament. It'll be on their website somewhere.
Yes.
Right, but I would say also, if I were like us, I would not be wanting to make a regular plan where I was always in the same place at the same time. That don't seem to me to be wise.
Well, I mean, at least going forward, we're going to have an easier time of dealing with it because, to Nanja's point earlier, we had a bit of luck on the old computers and all, so we're kind of tapped in, put some little gremlins in there, and it's all set up and ready to go. So we can just turn on the tap and watch what's happening.
Back there to do it.
Oh, I see. Good. So we have a way to learn what they're
It's
doing.
like when you know when people have walked into your domain. He knows when people have walked in that there.
Oh, we're just we're watching them from afar.
It's just different kind of ritual. So
Interesting.
The other question, Janusz, is: do you think your friend Father Michael? Do you think he knows that you know?
Well, that is a question. I can only assume, if he believed that things would have moved in an ugly direction by now. But I have doubt. I will be honest, I have doubt. I also wonder if he knew about Annie, what she is, or whether she controlled him the way she controlled Caleb.
I mean, I've got to say, if you don't know what she is, and she's just walked in here and set things up so she can control them, I mean, 10 out of 10 for balls, that's all I say on that. Because they would soon as kill her if they found out who she was.
Yes, or perhaps she is simply feeding them information. They don't know what she is, but she is. There are many possibilities.
Or maybe she's got some way to appear like them. I mean, you know.
I mean, there is a very basic fact they wouldn't be able to meet her in sunlight, so I'd be surprised if one of them had.
No, but I have played chess with them because the evenings are kind to us. It is easier at some times than others.
That's true.
Also, if she's able to mess with people's minds in the way she did with Caleb, and she could play with them all night, and they might think it's a day.
Yeah.
Yes, there are lots of ways she might have fooled them.
I think they probably think whatever she wants them to think.
Probably. But I'm wondering whether there is some merit to finding out about some of these people and then making a decision about which one of them to go and bring in and ask more questions. Because the thing is as well, not being funny, but now that Roger's up and about and Teach and Co have got their hands into this, these people are not going to be long for this world. The librarian is going to do the rounds and lop their heads off. So if we want information, we'd best be about ourselves getting it quick, not hanging around.
Yes, you are quite right.
So I reckon we need to make some choices soon. Do you reckon your friend has got the info? All I'm thinking is, if you know them already, maybe you could arrange to meet him. And then maybe you arrange to meet him someplace, and we all spring out and, you know, tie him up and whatnot. Then we can find out some information. Librarian's not going to miss him, is he? Don't know about him yet.
I believe that he would know something, yes.
Well, he's your mate. Have you got any problems if I turn him over to get information out of him?
I have some thoughts about this. Also, once we move on any of them, the rest will go to ground. Yeah. He is not. I believe he is involved, but he is not like one of those that set the fires. I believe he might be a point of contact. I believe if anything happens to him, there will be an immediate retribution, and that that he may be our best source of information, but we should be careful before we make a move.
Maybe we don't take him out then. Yeah, otherwise, even if they go to ground, I'm pretty sure, or sure as I can be, the librarian will do him regardless.
I think that our old plan is still good, which is to learn where all of them reside and to move against them at the same time. Ideally, if the librarian and others are going to move, we can tell them where to go.
I mean, I was in the room with them all. I thought what Cassiel was suggesting they was going to do is to try and point them in a different direction.
Get them out of the city.
They do. I mean, they don't want to do them over. I mean, that's just going to bring more attention. They seemed a little put out by the fact that you'd killed them all on in your house.
They shouldn't have come knocking on our door trying to kill us.
I'm not saying that you didn't do the right thing. I mean, defend your place. That's fine. All up for that. But when they come and knocking, but it's just this is different. This is going out and looking for trouble.
Well, it's not different. It's not different. There's blood between us now. That's a serious business. You can't just let it go. It's not the same thing as just pointing in the other direction.
Nanj, you're talking to the wrong person about having blood feuds and problems, here. This is... It goes to a dark place and you just end up escalating.
Do you know what? Sometimes escalation is the right course of action.
If you want to... Look, I'm just warning you, if you want to bring the whole bloody librarian and the rest of the city down on your head because you're out for a bit of vengeance, you're going the right way about it, Ange. Because, that wasn't the sense I got from that conversation with them. And I don't think that's what, my prince wants is more trouble here. We got enough as it's going on. We need to patch up and make some peace.
As is, your prince is your prince, but he ain't my prince. And over and above that, they have disrespected the land. And that is a thing for what they have to pay the cost. Have to.
Okay, if we dial this back, is there a way for us to speak to one of them? And Dermot, are you able to cloud their minds? Are you able to make them forget things afterwards?
Yeah.
We could do that, and then we know for certain that they won't go to ground because they won't remember that they've been questioned by us.
We could try a strategy like that, yes, but it is still dangerous.
Everything's going to be dangerous. Inaction is dangerous. Action's dangerous. It's just...
I have no intention of not acting on this matter, but when we do act, it will need to be decisive and well thought through. It seems that we have the means to gain more information without risking ourselves, at least for a night or two.
It's also only been a night or so since the librarian's been woken up. I think in that sense, things are probably still in development. They might change their minds. They might want all of society wiped out. We don't know. So maybe we need to hold our horses, get information first, and then see what we do with it.
Talking about Annie and all, we was talking about maybe talking to one of the Tremere. I have to warn that, sometimes the Tremere like to clean in-house, if you know what I mean. So, they're not really favourable of giving out. I mean, if they find out she's actually a Tremere and all, then I think maybe they're just going to close up ranks and say they'll deal with it. So, does anybody have any kind of sense of any information we got? Or has anybody got any friends in the Tremere could call on?
We have one of them for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks even. I don't really know how much that meant to him, but we can.
Does he owe you anything?
Get us in the door. He owes us the hospitality that we offered him.
I believe that for a boon he would help. He has made such an offer in the past.
Well, he needs the other one is the lady over in the other coterie, who's cross-factional coterie. I think from what the elders was saying.
Girl.
Hey?
Is that the sheriff girl?
Oh no, he's talking about Priscilla, former primogen of the Tremere, who stepped down and participated in the Henleys multi-faction coterie.
Because from what I recall, if they're saying it's on to the cross-factional coteries to deal with some of this, she has a stake in it. So she might be willing to help out from that perspective. Anyway, it's just some thoughts, so we could talk to them too.
I wonder whether we try it with Artrimir first, just because he's a bit younger, perhaps.
Don't want to call him that, Artrimir.
Well, I know, that's his face. A bit easier to manipulate, maybe.
That sounds like something the two of you would be better suited to. I don't think I want to talk to him. I take your point. I ain't turning it down. The chances are you put me in front of me ain't gonna go well.
Oh, you didn't talk to him nice, did you?
No, he's a twat. I talked to him like he was a twat.
And whilst we had a form of understanding, there is bad blood between our clans.
I think that's
ain't going nowhere, is it?
And that will not change.
Maybe stay away from him then. We can do it.
Same with yes, Tremere, innit? They got history of murdering people. That's what they do.
Cool.
Alright. So, do you reckon, Dermot, you can find out about all these people who were in the tournament? Especially the last person what Annie lost to, this Harry Jacobs. And then I can do a recce around wherever it is they are. See if they's the people that I followed on the night that Jacinta got killed. And I promise, I give you my word. I ain't gonna haul any of them over or anything. I'm not gonna cause any trouble.
If you just tell me which people you're focused on, then I'll get a little algorithm written up and see what I can find out. Scrape some of the web and gather up some data and all.
All right, I do that. And then you can help me.
Does that sound okay, Janusz?
You all right?
Yes. No, you carry on with what you're doing. Sorry, yes, Nanjazal.
Just once I got these people,
yes.
I need your help picking which order to go find them in.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I have some things on my mind, but
right.
So we are to go gather information. I imagine if the librarian begins to make any major moves, we will all know in due course, and perhaps then we may wish to take other action before they do.
I think you'll be called by him.
Well, I expect to speak with him soon.
You're going to ask for an audience, or?
I already have. And Cassiel will grant it.
All right. Good luck.
So, over and above this, what about Ubasi?
Yeah.
So it seems like we need to chat about that too.
Why don't we take care of the Tremere and you look at your
because
members?
Nathaniel isn't going to wait to talk to Ubasi about this. The time is now. Once Ubasi knows about it, someone else will get the favour. So it's down to you, May. But I'm just saying, this ship is sailing out of port, probably tonight or the following night. So if we want to make hay, you've got to do it while the sun is not shining. It's not a good expression, is it?
And we need Nathaniel in the room. We need the prince in the room to put the screws on, I imagine.
I don't know if it's about putting the screws on.
What do you want to get out of him?
Just a reduction in the boon, quite honestly.
Oh, right,
for not telling everybody that his child is basically the bitch of a Tremere.
What we're offering him is protection for his reputation. And my worry is, I think having Nathaniel in the room helps in the sense that he'll sit up and listen, but I don't know how comfortable the prince is with us negotiating a boon in front of him.
I don't think it's us, I think it's you.
Yeah.
I think you're better off, or maybe go with Dermot, but I think you're better off if me and Jan ain't there, or no, to your case.
I think that you should make this not just about you keeping your silence, but a guarantee that you're Coterie.
Right.
That you will keep us silent. And if you were to tell him, of course, that old Janusz is very upset about this betrayal of the city and the laws, and is itching to tell everyone at court. I'm sure he will not find that hard to believe. But you could tell him that you are skilled at making Janusz listen to reason and so on and so forth. You can say that Nanjazal is ready to rake in all of the boons through the Autarchus, is desperate to go and teach all about it.
But that's way off in Paris, and he'd be willing to spill the beans as well.
And don't forget, we're an interfaction coterie, and our status just skyrocketed based on the outcome of that conversation about the librarian, because we're now people he's going to use to organise this. So our opinion has got more sway and more weight now than what it has ever had. And by the time the librarian's done, no one's going to give a fucking toss about us again. So we might as well make hay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's your faction.
Well, if you want to come and have a chat with some of the cam, you're more than welcome.
No.
I know how much they love you.
Yeah.
Just do the rounds.
That'd be human shield for me then.
It'd be the Matilda and Dermot show.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
One thing the Ventru care about is their reputation, right?
Aye, but Ubasi's not the kind that likes the screws being put on him. He's a wily old fella.
Yes, you best tread carefully.
Just gentle, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be quite, there's a scale, really, isn't there? There's the delicate, kind little words that the prince puts one way, and there's kind of Nanj at the other end of the scale, throwing pie in your face.
I'm just direct, that's all.
That's what I mean.
Yes, this is perhaps not a time for directness, but certainly a time for action. Nanjal is right. This is the time.
Thanks, guys. I think you're right. Well, Dermot and I can do that, and then if we survive that, we'll go see our Tremere.
I wouldn't worry too much about myself, love.
It would be a simple matter for Dermot to get a hold of people in his faction to let them know that he's going, because it has been said that sort of like transit amongst territories has been not forbidden, but it's basically people should stay put. Yeah. That means if you are in the four of you are in multi-faction territory, but that is your domain. You can go around your domain however you want, but going into other domains should be a no-no, except you're sort of the people the librarian is using, so you have a little bit more leeway. Think about it as a leave to travel between areas of the different factions, which is something that the other factions are not enjoying right now. So Dermot can make arrangements to have Matilda visit and even meet with Obasi, and at some later point with Oscar. So there is, however, while Dermot is doing that, a message from one of your burners, Nanj. It's a message that says, I need help. I'm desperate. Don't tell Matilda. Mitchell is in trouble.
Oh, is this Ruby?
Yes.
Oh, well, I should go visit her. She needs help and support. Good lucky thing for me.
Yeah,
that's just what I feel like providing.
Okay, so
I mean, to be fair, how long has she been a vampire? If you reach out to the ministry for help and support in your time of emotional need, you get what you deserve. So I'm gonna go down there.
Okay, so what are besides?
I'll text back and say. I'll text back and say, where do you want to meet? I'll come straight away.
Okay, she just sends you an address. Yeah. So I imagine that you will be making arrangements to go there as soon as possible, while Dermot is doing. Sorry.
I'll tell Janusz that I've got something to take care of.
So I would quite like to have a scene with Nanjal, but if you're wanting to go to Ruby first, that's fine.
I don't mind, or whatever it depends on whatever arrangements I make with her. But I think both those things can happen for sure.
Okay.
Whichever order you want to do it, Carl.
I think it's going to be easier to do Ruby first and then the scene with Janesh.
Sure.
But it would be Ruby, then Obasi, Dermot, and Matilda. Yeah. I don't know if Dermot is going to be present in that conversation. In the Obasi conversation, yes? Okay.
Probably be wise just to, as an observer. Around. If Matilda wants an observer there, he'll certainly advise that sometimes wise to have observers there just for the purposes of recording what's being said.
Okay. Emotional support, Malkavian.
I'll be your plushie for that.
Cheers.
Okay. So Nanjal goes to meet Ruby. She's not far off. She actually went to Stoke Gifford to meet with you, so she's not too far from Lockleys. And she meets you in the car park of one of the big supermarkets in the area.
Okay.
Something like an Aldi or a Tesco's or something like that.
Yep.
She texted you that she's in a car.
Okay, so I'll just find the car and get in it, and then shut the door. I'll say, Ruby, what's going on? Your message worried me.
Well, I'm dead worried. I need you to smuggle someone out of the city.
Who?
It's Mitchell.
Why?
I don't know if Murray is gonna come with him. Well, last night was bad. Remember?
Right.
Like
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
2 nights ago was the attacks, and then Christopher Hughes was getting the people together and was telling that this was enough, that the Camarilla had drawn, the last straw. She takes a deep breath and says, Mitchell was was in one of the groups that had already been out.
I think you've frozen for me.
Oh, she says Mitchell was in one of the groups that had already left to another part of the city. And she starts, you see her in a single drop of blood drops from her eye as she cries and says, he's responsible for the death of one of the Camarilla last night.
Oh, shit.
And I have been told that Roger asked Matilda to bring them in, and I don't want her having to drag her friend towards the Baron for him to be killed. Because it turns out Christopher Hughes messed up, and he is after Mitchell as well. Matilda and Christopher Hughes are hunting those responsible for the death of the 3 Camis. And that means Mitchell, and I don't know to what extent Murray, but I will owe you whatever boon it is to get him safe, and then make arrangements in a later date for me to see him. I don't know.
I can get him out tonight.
Whenever you can.
Ruby, this is difficult, and there's no guarantee that getting him out of the city means there'll be a line drawn about going after him. And they got somewhere to go. He gets them out.
Not yet. I'm trying to figure out something. He's right now hiding in Squid's old haven, like a safe house that Squid had. He's not using it, of course. I haven't even checked on him after Audrey told me he had been burned.
You haven't checked on him?
I have not been able to see Squid.
Where is he? I'll go and check on him.
She's talking about Squid. Squid, who you saw burned 2 nights ago. He's still at Audrey. Closer to Portishead.
Okay.
He's still there.
I'll say, right, you've got a better plan than go into his old haven, because you can't stay there for good. And besides, you know as well as I do, things are not operating within normal parameters in this city at the moment. So don't mean if I can get you to the border that is definitely you away scot-free. Have you got some sort of plan of where you're going to go after that?
I don't know what to do. And she's like literally desperate and starts crying. I don't know what to do.
I'll say to her, it's all right. I can help you. I will help you. Don't worry about it. I will help you. So we're looking at getting Murray and Mitchell out of here, and you at some later point, right?
Yes.
Right. I will see what I can pull together. Are they safe for now? Might take me more than a day to do this, but I'm confident I can do it. Now, talking about payment. I want you to do something for me. Is payment for this. I don't want boon off you. What I want you to do is remember who you are. If you're going out from here, if you're going away from here, I want you to remember when you was coming to hang out with us up at Janish's place.
Yeah.
Remember what that felt like?
Yeah.
Right? And remember that there were good things happening in your life then. That's what I want you to hang on to. That is the thing. You and Mitchell, right? This is more than just about escape. This is about how you live and what matters to you. You know as well as I do that sometimes things like this can be thrown straight in your face, and they can be the biggest of challenges to you. You've got to find your path, just like I did. That day I told you down by the river. That day we first met. That's what I want from you, to not walk away from that. No matter where you go. That's your route to a better life.
Can I stay with the children while this dies out?
Yeah. Of course you can.
I mean, I'm not going to have Mitchell nearby, and I don't know if it's going to be weeks or months or years until I am able to.
You know what? If you come stay with the children, it's not like you can't talk to Mitchell. We don't tell people what they can and can't do in that way. You come stay with us. I mean, I will speak to Yana. She says house after all. If I rock up with you in tow, and I haven't even mentioned it, believe me, he will lose his mind about it.
Yeah, he's very particular about that. But I mean, it is his house, and a lot of people are doing a lovely job to, restore it. And of course, he cares deeply about it.
And it's a place where you can find peace.
And it's a place where Christopher Hughes will not hunt me, asking me questions about Mitchell. I want a place where he cannot touch me. I'm hiding from my own faction, Angela. You have an idea how scary that is.
Yeah.
I thought only the Camarilla had to deal with this shit.
Yeah, I understand. It's fucking terrifying. And in some ways, right, that's why I think Janusz is the only one who's got his head screwed on, right? Because he's not attached to a faction, right?
No.
He is just understanding the way the world works and helping other people understand it.
Yeah, he's library. They're neutral. They're observants. They're. I need that neutrality. I need that sort of little pocket of Switzerland in the middle of this chaos.
Yeah, and you know what? He doesn't turn down people that need help. He helped me when I first came here. Look how great I did.
I'm sorry. I lost it too, don't worry.
You were doing so well.
You say that, and she takes off her seatbelt.
And so well.
Sorry, you say that, and she takes off her seatbelt, and he gives you a hug. It's like and cries on your shoulder. It's like, yeah, I mean, like you are telling her, I've been where you are, and look how I am. I'm composed. I'm here. I'm steady. I'm strong and stable, and I'm ready to help you. So there's
I'll
that.
say, let's drive back to his place. For now, you have to wait outside while I talk to him.
Yes.
He ain't got a phone, so I can't radio Ed. Yeah. I'll say in the meanwhile, can you drive and I'll make some calls and sort out what I can about Mitchell and Murray.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, by the way, when all the dust is settled from this, you have got to tell Matilda something. Because I ain't going to lie to her face forever. I can tell her if you want it, be me. Just so she knows. Because if they just disappear off the face of the earth, she's going to lose her mind with worry.
I'll tell her. She's my friend, and what I'm doing is saving her. I'm saving her the trouble of having to tell Breuer Smith that she could not get a hold of her friend.
I think it's always good to save Roger Smith trouble.
Yes.
So I'll get her to drive back, and on the way I'll make various calls that will involve, obviously, the collection of boxes in which to smuggle people out of the city.
Okay. And with that, what? The camera needs to refocus, apparently. There we go. And with that, we jump to another area of Bristol. Definitely more posh, more exclusive, more reserved. And in a place called the Ivy Clifton Brasserie, you are received in one of the the tables in the back. A very good place. That's where Obasi is. He sees you. He waves at you. Stands up to greet you and say, "Oh, join me, my friends. Let's have our short chat in private."
Follow him. Is it a private booth or is it just the end there?
No, he's gonna walk around and go into an area with a proper office, as if he owned the place.
You might.
I mean, you never know with this venture. When you're at the door, he opens the door for you, Matilda. And when Dermot is approaching, he's like, "May I just have a quick word with Matilda before our conversation? Or should I wait until the end?"
No, it's up to you, boy. You do what you want. You know, I'm just here to sit on part of the conversation, but it's up to you two to decide when you need me in there.
Ah, marvelous. It won't take long. Not at all. He closes the door.
Are you okay with that, Matilda? You know?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you in a minute, Dermot. Thanks.
Aye, sure.
Okay. Cheers.
Closes the door, goes inside. Ah, Matilda. Congratulations. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
It was a powerful display of leadership.
Yes, well, unfortunately, it's not exactly as easy as it could have been, but I'm very happy with the result.
It is a pity that the results are not kept. All that time and that effort. You winning. I mean, that is something we've worked so hard for you to achieve. Don't you feel a little bit robbed by destiny, by these assailants?
I mean, it will pay off in the end, won't it? Sometimes it's about the long game.
I'm sure. And I'll be providing all the help I can, as always.
I didn't realize you were a supporter.
Oh, why wouldn't I be? I'm probably your biggest fan in the city, Matilda. You realize how valuable it is to have a life boon over an Anak representative. Your success is my success. Speaking of boons, there is a situation that we have right now.
Is this to do with your child?
And he gives you like a puzzled look. He says like, "No. It has to do with your feeding habits in Camarilla territory." But what do you know about Caleb? Do you know his whereabouts?
We can get to that. Back to what you were saying.
And he just eyes you for a short moment. Says,
Please go on. I'm sorry for interrupting.
"Well, it's unfortunate that you have been caught poaching in Camarilla territory. I thought you and your friends had a whole domain to yourselves. It also pains me to know that you are not the only one who hunts outside your shared domain.
Who else?
Well, that is for you to discuss.
No, please, do tell me.
I do not wish to start any sort of rivalries with other factions, at least not other than my own. And to be fair, the others were not poaching in my territories. You have, however.
Do you have proof?
Oh, absolutely. Sadly, security here has been improved. It's very different here than in other places. And it's just not security via the cameras. You see, we post our own personnel to protect us. And your lovely and beautiful red hair rarely passes, well, completely unnoticed.
Fine. Then, what would you like, an apology?
I would like to know what is it that you wish to speak to me about Caleb. Is that the reason you brought one of my fellow Camarilla mates to have this conversation with you?
I brought Dermot with me because it concerns him as well. And I'm sure as another Camarilla mate, then you have something in common. It might be nice to have a familiar face. Someone to mediate between the two of us. So if you would kindly let him back in the room.
He turns around, walks to the door, puts his hand on the handle, and turns around with a finger in the air and say, "We are yet to discuss what you know about my child." He opens the door. "Ah, damn it, my dear friend. Step right in.
Of course.
So," and he walks around, sits down in the desk, after, of course, shutting the door, walks around, sits in the desk. Now that we have the privacy that we wanted to have, you have my full attention.
So we have some information about your child. I understand he's gone missing. How much do you know? I'd like to just see what you believe about the situation.
He puts his elbows on the desk and laces his fingers in front of his face. Says, "Well, last I saw of Caleb was in the night of the election. But then I went to cast my vote. For yes, I vote in the BS41 area. And I was lucky enough that I cast my vote early, before all the ruckus started."
Oh, so you vote then?
Anarchs asked for my vote.
I suppose you know if that's business of your own. Don't seem right to me voting though, that's not the way we do things, is it?
No, I voted. The Anarchs have a way of thinking that the representation through votes is the correct way. What they do not understand is that votes are easy to manipulate, to gain by, to obtain. So they try to appeal to the transparency and legality by letting the other factions also cast their opinion in the urns when they submit their votes.
Aye, it's a good gig you got there then. Seems sensible to keep the Anarchs on a tight leash, I suppose.
It is. For I managed to secure an interesting and, one might say, risky boon in exchange for the way I voted.
Just be better if maybe, you kept your own child on a better leash.
his eyes focus on you in a way that makes you very uneasy. My child.
Hey, I'm all for the cam, and as I say, if we can get one up around the city, that's great and all, but there's certainly some trouble that seems to have been coming from young Caleb.
Caleb is not that young, he's a neonate. And he turns to Matilda.
He's still your child, though.
He might be, but he's his own man. He has been presented according to our traditions.
But he's been under your tutelage.
He was, yes. Where do you want to get? He got into trouble, isn't it? And you think you can charge me for it?
I think you should sit and listen to just how much trouble he's gotten himself into. Do you remember Annie, one of our refugees?
He sucks his lips. He said, weren't that the young girl with a plushy toy? The shack.
That's her. She said she was a Malkavian. She said she was one of Dermot's kin, and she's not. She was a Tremere the whole time.
His expression changes.
She killed Jacinta, and Caleb was in on it.
Do you have proof of this? Woman impersonating somebody else in my faction, in my sect.
I have witnesses.
Do you have proof of her killing Jacinta? Have you found the body?
We have the bones, we have the evidence.
Do you have proof of Caleb aiding her in this?
We have enough.
I hope it is strong evidence, Matilda. For, as you said, my child, my boy, under my tutelage, he could still be swayed with the powers of the blood, or with the sorcery of the Tremere. And even if he did it on his own accord, his sins are not mine to answer for. I do not think I want that information, of course, outside in the open, for it hurts the Camarilla. It's a reputational damage not only to me, but to my faction. A Tremere and a Ventru working together to take down the city. Bad publicity for me. Bad publicity for my sect.
Very much so.
It would be just as bad publicity like multi-faction coteries and its members poaching on other territories. Where would the credibility of your loyal and trustworthy band of fellows lie?
What's this?
People would see you no more than poach. It was hypothetical, of course. Or is it? My dear Matilda. And he gives you a forced smile. You just know that he's forcing it. He's not enjoying this conversation, but he doesn't want to give the appearance of weakness.
Yeah. I think the fact of the matter, even with your hypothetical, is that I know what you care about. I know you care about your reputation. I know you care about your standing in this city. This can be very easy for you. Caleb can be a victim of circumstance. He can be a waylaid youth, or he can be a perpetrator. He can be an accessory, and he can be a criminal. And he all did that under your eye. It doesn't matter if he's a neonate. It doesn't matter if he's not legally in your control or your power anymore. You were there. You watched over him. He's your child. I know how this works.
Well, I would suggest we enter an agreement here in which each other, all of us, take care of one another. The information you have on Caleb, even if it might be factual, can be presented in the ways you have described, Matilda. He could be made a victim. He could have been made a tool, someone to be used, a minor embarrassment to himself, but nothing that will have dire repercussions on my clan or my faction. And I will make sure that the immediate areas belonging to the Camarilla that have been used as feeding grounds for your coterie without prior permission are open to you for, let's say, 5 years. That's short enough of a time for you to not be guilty of poaching, of course. I will do my due diligence and make sure that also what is in the BS-16 area is just evidence presented as authorized fitting.
I think you know I want more than that. You have something over me that I want reduced. So I want to discuss that.
He thinks about it and says, "You see, I cannot do that, Matilda. And I will do it by giving you both a reason and the information that should not come without strings, not lightly, ever. The moment I give you my reason, you will understand how powerful that information could have been used in the past against me. But now, after what you have said, it is clear that it could only help me. You see, Matilda, and my dear Dermot, I might have raised, so to speak, Caleb. I might have tutored him. I might have embraced him even, drained him dry, fed him of my blood, the blood of kings. But he never took to the blood. Or more like, the blood never took to him, Matilda. For even after I embraced him, and who knows for what reason, he never was a venturer. He was never a true venturer. The power of my bloodline did not manifest in Caleb. We thought it was a curse at first. We thought, well, we've been punished. But now that you're telling me this, Dermot will agree with me. He was not worthy of the true blood of Ventru. He was a caitiff, Matilda. And I was allowed to keep him in the sect. A sect that does not deal with caitiff really well. If anything, this should make me highly popular with you Anarchs. But he was my child nonetheless. And I tried my best. So you see, It could have been used against me very powerfully in the past. But now, I myself could disclose this information. And I wouldn't have been betrayed by a Ventru, but by a bloody caitiff.
Who knows that he was a caitiff?
The regent of the Tremere, who conducted the ritual and confirmed my suspicions. Prince Nathaniel, who authorized me to keep him. And of course, Prince William the Late, my sire. The first one to know and the first one to allow me to raise them. For it was still my blood, his blood, in his veins. Even though it did not awaken the way it should have.
How generous of you.
That's why I've always admired your passion, Matilda, and admire the way you walk and the way you conduct yourself. Because it is in you. It is intrinsic to you. It was not the blood of the Ventru who made you like that. The blood of Ventru only made you stronger for it. You are more of a Ventru than Caleb ever was. And I will not let the hold of the life boon I have over you to slip past because of a child that was unworthy.
Is that all you have to say? Is that all you have to offer?
I can offer more. I can certainly offer more. But if you want to go and talk to your Coterie and see if you can come up with something you want or need, it'd be easier, a simple matter for me to arrange. But I'm afraid the embarrassment of Caleb is not enough to upset the poaching of your Coterie and reduce the life boon I have over you into a major. Just doesn't carry enough weight, Matilda.
Fine. She'll just stand up and just say, good talk. I'll see you soon.
I will make space to talk to you whenever you need to. Dermot, I'm available for your Coterie to contact me at your earliest convenience. Because I do want this sorted.
Sure. Do you mind if we have a quick word just before I leave?
Absolutely, my friend.
I'll be out in a minute.
And now Matilda leaves and he has a conversation with Obasi. My dear friend, apologies for the way I acted, but as you can understand, it's not easy to reveal the great shame that was my child's embrace with an anarch. Doesn't sit well with me still.
I didn't mean to offend too much either, talking about your child and all. I suppose, that's the way of things.
I've had to endure his presence and continued existence when I knew he was nothing.
That doesn't seem surprising, some of the other things I heard about him either.
Such as?
Well, I'm sure that it's not the kind of thing that you really want to trouble yourself with tonight. Sounds like you're not in the best of moods, so I'll leave it there. But just thinking, this Annie, she's done wrong by my clan.
Yes.
And I'm sure you understand that kind of thing. She's done wrong by the clan, and she's done wrong by the cam.
Yeah.
She killed...
She's been impersonating. Is she even Camarilla to begin with? She must be. She's Tremere.
We don't really know. But we don't know much about where she is. However, she does seem to be hanging around with Caleb, so you seem to be the person who has the most knowledge about him.
Yeah.
And I do hope you appreciate that she is a definite threat to the city. So, might I ask if you have any information that might be helpful in tracking her or him down? Then I know you'll do right by the city and come forth with said information, no?
I agree. This Annie woman, if that's her real name, she's a real threat to us.
Indeed.
You have the full support of the Ventru clan on this endeavor, Dermot. I will make sure everyone in my clan, in our faction, knows. They will be most cooperative.
Aye, good. Glad to hear it.
And I'm glad to have a diligent member of the Camarilla and a competent one doing this. So, let any one of my clan, or myself included, how can we help?
If you hear anything, tell me. You know I can be contacted, so you got my details.
I am sure I will find a way to make them reach your ears as soon as possible.
Good. We can't let this stand, so otherwise it's going to reflect bad on us all.
And
anyway, thanks.
When you're approaching the door, it says, Dermot, my friend. If you find this woman, if it's true that she's beguiled my child, regardless of how much of a disappointment Caleb has been, he's still my blood and she has transgressed against me as well. So if you find her, let me know and I will help you dispatch her myself.
It's kind of you to offer. I'm sure we take you up on that and all.
I'm looking forward to it.
As am I.
Good night, my good friend.
Leave.
Okay. And with that not creepy at all interaction with Obasi, we're gonna go to a break. So big shout out to our guest of tonight, the wonderful Josh, reprising the role of Carl. And thank you very much to our patrons. Big shout out to Kirsty.
So when you click on the symbol, you're actually clicking on the screen.
Yes, you are. And now, do you have any shout outs? I was doing a shout out for Kirsty for art. But I don't know if you wanna do the shout out yourself, Peter.
No, you go for it.
Okay, because if you were a patron, I don't know if you wanted to do the spiel of the cards. Postcards.
Yeah. Okay. So for some of you who are supporting us on Patreon, there are various different things that we are kind of sending your way. And one of those is a postcard, which is from Hubert, which is sort of a nice memorial of Bristol itself, but with a bit of a Hubert twist on it, and a personalised message for you as well. And Kirsty's been doing an absolutely fabulous job in producing the art for the postcard, so thank you very much, Kirsty. And of course, Hubert has also done a very good job of writing the postcards, so thank you, Hubert, for doing that for us as well.
Okay, so it is 10 to 9. So we're going to go into a 15-minute break, and we will be back at 9:05. That is local UK time, so check it out. And we'll be back for part 2 of this season 3, episode 3 of Blood on the Severn. So until then, bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back for the second part of Season 3, Episode 3 of Blood on the Severn. And we left it after those conversations that Matilda and Dermot had with Obasi. Now, in the north side of Bristol, Nan Giselle is driving around with Ruby, making phone calls, making sure that she gets some nice sturdy boxes and all the arrangements. And I imagine that, well, you said that you wanted Ruby to drive you all the way to Janice's Haven so you could have a chat with her.
Walk outside, and then I can check with Janusz before I bring her in.
So she does that. She drives you all the way there. She parks outside, and she says that she's going to be outside of the car, walking around, pacing, not in front of the house, but she doesn't want to be just sat there in the car.
I'll say, if he's in, it's going to be a short conversation, because he'll either say yes or he'll say no, and if he says no, we'll go elsewhere. Don't worry, I've got a plan.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be 10 minutes, tops.
Okay.
So I'll go in and find Janusz, wherever he is.
Mm-hmm.
Is he alone?
I mean, probably
not.
Talking to him. Huh?
No, probably not alone. He's probably doing stuff around with some of the children. But he's not going to be massively engaged. So if you have something to say to him, it would be a simple matter of him dismissing people real quick.
Sure. Yeah, he'll do that.
Okay. I'll say, I got something to ask you. You remember Ruby?
Oh yes, I remember Ruby.
Got a call from her tonight, and I went to meet her. She is wanting to stay here until some stuff gets resolved. Now, in the interests of giving you the full picture, it's not straightforward, but I'm in the process of sorting it out. You remember the Anarchs a couple of nights ago when Matilda was trying to talk them down from having a go at the Camarilla.
Yeah.
But some of them did anyways.
Yeah.
Turns out a couple of them were mates of Ruby's, or mates of Matilda's, who were responsible for killing one of the Camarilla people.
I see.
So she's asked me to get the two of them out of the city, what I'm going to do. Doesn't want to put Matilda in a difficult situation, but she wants to know if she can stay here. Now, the thing that occurs to me is one of the people that I'm shipping out of the city is that bloke of hers, Mitchell. You know, the one who was a bad influence on her?
Yes. I seem to remember that he was something of a distraction for her.
Right. So I thought, well, she's going to be here and not be distracted. I've asked her in payment for this to commit to following the right path.
Interesting. Yes, this is good news, Nandazelle. Tell me, is she in danger herself? Will she be hunted, or
No.
She has had no part in this attack on the Camarilla?
No, not as far as she said to me. And I said that I would come here and ask you. She said that she knew she might not be able to speak to Mitchell for some time, but she knew what was going to happen to him.
Well, if she is simply a distressed friend seeking shelter, then she is, of course, welcome. And if she has other difficulties, then she may still be welcome, but we might have to talk further.
Well, is it all right with you if I bring her in?
Yes, she may come and find some peace.
All right. So I'll go back out to the car,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll get Ruby in. I'll explain to Ruby what Janusz just explained to me.
Okay.
And
of
then,
course, she says that the only thing she's wary of is that Christopher Hughes and Matilda are going to be looking for the responsible for what happened, because they were the ones that were having, like, they were the two anarchs having conversation at that level while Roger was disappeared. And
but she was not one of those people, was
she's
she?
not one of those, but since Mitchell is her boyfriend, it only makes sense that they will want to ask her questions. And if she's going to talk to somebody, she wants to talk to Matilda, not to Christopher Hughes. Because
Okay.
Matilda at least will understand. And understand why she's being duplicitous, because she feels very duplicitous, and she's open about it. She says, I don't like lying to my friend, but I would rather talk to her and face her than have to deal with Christopher Hughes, who I don't know and I don't trust. He's a former Camarilla. And I mean, he left his sect, and I don't know exactly what I think of him, but it's definitely not the picture I have when I think of people I trust.
Well, one thing you can trust is the people here.
Yeah.
We'll have your back. So I assume that. Did you want to talk to her, or are you going to just set her up with a room, or?
So I don't know if it needs a scene
that's what I
with
was
her.
wondering.
I think Yanis will be happy to take her in on that basis.
Okay.
And he will basically assure her that she'll be safe. And that if she doesn't want to speak to anyone, she doesn't have to.
And then I'm assuming that we will continue our conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you make sure that Ruby is there. Evelina and Zane and Grace and even Scranton, all of them welcome her, the ones that are around. Even Will, who is around. He sees her, like, whoa, hello, stranger. And she, like, shies coyly. But it is a little overwhelming for her at the beginning, having all the people. But immediately everybody reassures her, and she's given a room. And she's given her space.
So once she's happy with that, he will say to Nangisel, I believe I have underestimated Dermot.
Oh, why so?
Well, I had been impressed with his ability to use music and to speak spiritually, but I did not know that he could cast images of other people. I find it most troubling.
Why?
Well, do you not wonder what he does with those images after he has captured them? He now has Carl's image in his hand or in his home to play with as he sees fit. You must know that there are many old rituals and old ways which work around such things, a carving of a doll, for example, or some effigy, which is then used for various magics. Well, imagine what magics could be done with such a lifelike and living image. If Dermot is truly capable of such things, well, that is a frightening thought.
What do you think we're in danger then?
I have no reason to believe that Dermot has any issue with us, merely that I had not considered him. Perhaps he knows more than I had realized. Perhaps he knows things that I had. There are many paths one can walk. The Tremere walk profane paths that should not be trod. I am not sure yet which one Dermot walks, but it is clear he has some dabbling in the other worlds.
Well, as for the call, it's modern stuff, technology. I guess some people think about it like magic. But it's not a ritual like that. Lots of people can do what he does.
It troubles me. It is something which has the seeming of reality, yet is not real. It takes us away from what is real.
Do you think it wasn't a real version of Carl we saw then?
Oh, I have no doubt that was Carl. No doubt at all. No one else would speak in such a manner. But, nevertheless, I will...
Do you want me to keep my eye on him?
Dermot?
Yeah.
Well, I think it pays always to keep an eye on other kindred.
You mean?
But I must think on this, because it is clear there are depths to him that I do not understand.
I think he's a good bloke.
Yes, he seems to be proving himself.
Right. And, got a lot of strings to his bow.
Yes. It is fortuitous that he has come to us at this time. Things are aligning, even faster than I thought possible.
What do you mean?
Where to begin? Well, You are aware, are you not, that sometimes before Annie perverted things, Carl would receive visions from the gods.
Right.
But sometimes Carl would not understand those visions.
Right, exactly. I remember you saying to him.
He would simply see things and he would speak of them in an offhand manner.
Right.
But to those of us who understand, there would be meaning in those images. The gods have spoken. They have delivered a message to one of the children. A message for me. And that message has been delivered.
Which person?
Zane.
Oh, I remember Zane.
Hmm.
What one?
Well, there are some things that in time you will come to see for yourself at the proper time, in the proper way. But for now, it is enough to say that he was blessed to receive a message. But of course, for him,
What was he doing when he did?
his duty. All of the children here who have been here for a long time and have begun to learn a little of what we are doing are given duties and are given things.
But there must be something different, though.
Yes, yes. Something sacred. And he has done this duty long enough and well enough that the gods have seen fit to reward him. Now, of course, for him, this was terrifying. He could not understand what was happening, but when that was brought to me, I understood. And
How is it if he's the one they've chosen for this, he's so terrified by it? If he's the one who got picked, if he's the one who's legitimately the deliverer of the message, how come he's so terrified by it? How come he can't handle it?
well, now, Giselle, the gods have roles for many people. Some are to be messengers, some are to act. This message will shape our actions. It is a great opportunity for us.
What was the message?
The secret to everything that we have been working on all of these years.
What secret?
Secret to all of it is in identifying King. You remember that Carl had a vision about a blood queen that we know is Annie. There is also someone who is the king, referred to at least in that manner by the gods. Their weakness, their fall, is our rise. We must identify who that king is, and we must bring them here, and we must make of them an offering. And on that day, Gazelle, a glorious miracle will happen. Now, I believe that it is no accident that you found those things in the church. You brought us information we might need to learn the identity of the king. All of it feels like it is connected somehow to chess. We know that Annie was the queen. We know that she played in these games. It seems to me most like it is this Jacob's or Father Michael. I'm not certain which. We must learn which it is, and if we doubt, we must bring them both.
Do you think we can make it so that Zane has another message?
It is possible. It is possible. Things are stirring now, Giselle. The gods are speaking more frequently.
Well, not speaking to me.
Giselle, they are speaking to you. They have spoken to you before.
No, speaking to Zane, aren't they? That's what you just said.
Did they not speak to you in the river?
That was a long time ago. That one
Did they
yesterday,
not speak to
wasn't
you
it?
in the earth?
That was still a long time ago. It wasn't now, recently.
You want the gods to speak to you again. You want to hear their voice directly.
Right.
Then do this thing. Do this thing and you will be in the presence of the gods. I promise you.
If I find out who this king is.
If you find them and we bring them here, and we make their weakness our strength, then what you have experienced before is as nothing to what you will experience then.
Right. So how do you think we find him then?
There may be some secret in the records of the chess moves, the game. It might be obvious who the king is there. It may simply be by observation. The exact how of it is not clear to me yet, but what is clear is it must be done. We must find which of them is the king, or if there is some other figure hidden, we must find them. And we must make sure that they do not fall in some senseless murder at the hands of the librarian or some other. They must be brought to this place, no other place. And they must be alive when they come. And they must be given up, body and soul.
All right. Well, I reckon then I have to find this Harry Jacobs.
Yes.
If you get any more information out of Zane, he'll give it to me.
If the gods speak on this matter again, you will know. You will know. But yes, things are moving quickly. This is faster even than I had dreamt. We are being rewarded, Nanjazel, with a great opportunity for the work we have done. There is much, much that I must teach you in this time.
Well, then teach me. Zane's a bloke, isn't he? He's not like us.
He's not.
He
like
doesn't deserve to get this message. That is not okay. He's just a person. He's not.
You think you are fit to judge who the gods speak to and who they do not?
You told me. You said I was the one that was chosen.
Yes.
Now I'm not the one that's chosen. Now he is.
Do you think there can be only one?
Yes. Yes. That is what it means to be chosen.
You are taking this in a strange way, Nanjazel. He was chosen to receive a message. You are chosen to bring the gods back to the earth.
I want the message.
If you wish to hear their first words when they return, then you will earn the right, and you will be standing in this place when they come, in all their glory. If you want it.
Of course I want it. What do you think I've been here all this time for?
Then you will earn it with your act. As you have been earning it all this time. Do not be jealous of Zane. He's a boy. A boy who received a message that will enable you to do what must be done.
How do you know he's telling the truth? What if he lied to you?
Do you doubt me now?
I'm not doubting you, I'm doubting him.
Because I have seen and I have heard. Zane is not lying. He does not have the guile to lie about this. He does not know the things that we know. He was tested in his own way and he succeeded. Just as you have been tested and you have succeeded.
Alright. Well, I'll find this king.
You must, Nanjazel. Must. This is a great opportunity that may not come again for.
Presumably this king isn't someone Zane can find, is it?
No. Zane's part in this is done.
Interesting. Well, I guess I will find out from Dermot where this Jacobs is. Then I'll go and track him down. How are you going to tell if he's a king? Would you need pictures of him? You'll know when you see him?
This is not a matter of science, Nanjazel. The signs will be there. We will know them when they surface.
But I can't just bring anyone back. We have to know before I bring them back.
Yes, we must be prepared. There will be a great ritual. It has to be done correctly. We may well need others' help, but however this is done, whatever else happens with the society, This king, that is who we must seek, who we must bring here.
Right. Well, I'll start off with him. If it's not him, then we'll move through that list.
It is most likely him or Father Michael.
But you can meet with Father Michael.
Yes.
And you can see if it's him or not. Because the gods will tell you, right? They speak to you all the time.
Yes. Yes, it will become clear to us, I'm sure of that. But we must move quickly.
Right, well, I'll get out there, find out what Dermot knows, and then I'll get on to him.
Good.
Okay, so I will do that.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Now we jump to Dermot after that conversation with Obasi. I imagine you and Matilda leave Camarilla territory to go back to your domain.
Out of interest, Carlos.
Yes.
Is it possible to have found out at some point in this evening what the names of the Camarilla
who were killed?
Yes.
Yes, you could have found, at least made the contacts with the people that could give you the names and the information, yes. And there's also the possibility of you getting, probably getting it already sent to you. So one of the people who died, just give me a second, because I don't want to give you the wrong names. Okay, so one of the people who was killed was one of the members of the Brislington Coterie. Oscar Allworth, Camarilla Malkavian, child of Derek Williams. Derek Williams being the...
Is he the child of the prince?
Primogen.
Primogen, okay.
So, like, the youngest child of the Primogen. He died. Michaela Drayton from Clan Toreador. And Matthew Faraday from Clan Toreador as well.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Do we know whether they were all separate incidents or whether they all...
What Dermot will find out, and you will find out, there were just two incidents. In one, Derek and Michaela died. Sorry, Derek. Oscar and Michaela.
Michaela and Matthew.
No,
Oscar
and Michaela died, and then the other one was Matthew.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
So,
who's driving back? Would it be Matilda or would it be Dermot?
Your choice. I know Dermot wanted to go and have a chat with his father because before it became too late.
I'd probably offer to drive.
Okay. Yeah, also safer because he's a Camarilla on a Camarilla car driving you into Camarilla territory. Yeah. So he can drop you anywhere, probably at yours.
Yeah, you can drop me at mine. I think on the ride, Matilda will just, be silent for a lot of it, and then just at some point just say, "I fucking hate that guy."
I can understand how you feel. He's a bit of a monster, isn't he?
He's very good at what he does. That's the worst part. He's just a fucking pro. It's so annoying. Thank you for being in there with me.
I'm sorry I can't do more. But, I was just offering to be there as a... we're in a coterie together, so I'll do what I can, but I'm still calm.
Yeah, I know. It's like I didn't want to put you in a difficult position, but I think you conducted yourself very well in there, even with that fucking anarch snipe. You snake.
It's just the nature of her, you know,
Yeah.
our kind, isn't it? I mean, I'm guessing that whole thing between you and that knob that's trying to take over. What was his face? Chris.
Christopher.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the same, really, isn't it?
Same shit. Yeah. Same shit, different faction.
I mean, the whole malarkey with all the waking the librarian up is the same thing again. I mean, it's just the same set of rules. A bunch of old feckers just trying to get one over one another.
Yeah, it is. But all the same, I appreciated you being there. I don't think it puts me on edge, and having you there made it less so.
That's okay. I mean, you have to understand, there's a reason I ain't just left the cam and joined the Anarchs and all. It's because of the kind of stuff, the kind of shit that happened over the last few nights.
No,
As far as I'm concerned, there is a cost to being with the cam, but at least it comes with some sense of stability and rules. It ain't some kind of free-for-all.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, but how much are those rules valuable when, I mean, at what point do they become a noose?
If they felt like a noose for you, then you left, that's fine.
Not for you?
No.
That's fine. It didn't feel like that it didn't feel like a noose for me for a while, and then it did, so it's always time.
Aye, well, it's unusual for your kind, you know, your clan to consider it a noose.
Yeah, it's not particularly common.
It's nice to meet a quite unique one of yous.
Yeah, so are you, I think.
Kind of you to say.
Yeah. Just so you know as well, I mean, the stuff that happened the other night, I didn't want it to go down that way. I went to Ashton Court, I said everything I could. I'm not happy with how it ended up. I'm not happy with what Christopher did. Like, he's a fucking idiot.
So, is it Christopher the reason that all this shite went down?
He rallied the troops, got everyone riled up. It's not hard with the Anarchs, but he was the fucking match.
So it's his fault they all went out and started, you know, offing people that they thought was enemies without really knowing the full story.
Didn't exactly stop him.
See, that's where the line is drawn for me. You see, the fact that you're saying he didn't really stop them says that they got the autonomy to do what the fick they want without any kind of repercussions.
Well, this time there will be.
Better.
You have my word.
Okay, and with that, you drop Matilda at hers and drive towards your dad's. And when you arrive, he's there. He's in his chair, and he's watching TV. He's watching Pointless. He loves that show.
You're gonna numb your brain with that stuff, you know.
How? This is educational, not the type of godforsaken stuff that they put in the programming with the Love Islanders and the Easternenders, and nothing makes sense anymore. How have you been, son?
Right.
Haven't seen you in a while. And he makes an effort to get out of the chair and come and, you know, grab you by the arms and how have you been? Have you been all right?
Not so much, Dad. It's been a rough week.
Oh. Have you been to church lately? That can help.
I just happened to pop down to a church actually this week. Even went inside and all.
You see genuine, like, joy in your father's eyes. How was it? How did it make you feel, son?
Angry,
Why?
if I'm honest.
Were you angry at yourself? Angry at church? Angry at the people there? Angry at God?
All of those things and a bit of a mixture, I suppose, but mostly just angry. There's some people who. Do you ever feel, Dad, there's just like some people use the church for the wrong reasons? You know.
Yeah, far too often, son. Sadly. And it's not Christians or Catholics. It's every faith has that. But I believe it's because of the frailty of us as human. We're flawed. So our faith might be the path, but our structures are man-made and sometimes even, well, managed by men who are flawed. And it's sad. But they are a minority. They are those who use the church and the faith for their own benefit, for their own gain. They are, first of all, they're not true believers, and second, they're but a small group that can do a lot of harm. But once you find them and you can root them out, then you leave the ground ready and fertile for new seeds to be planted after you remove the bad weeds. That's what we have to tend the garden.
So you're kind of on board with rooting out the weeds and seeing them off then?
Always, son. And he says that with a little bit of sorrow in his tone. You know, your father has always been very strict and black and white when it comes to this and other moral issues. So he's the type of take the bad seeds out. Even if it's to put them in a different basket and turn them into good seeds. Into good weeds. But they need to be removed from where they're doing harm. And then helped or be discarded.
Aye. Well,
Which church did you attend? Was it a Catholic church?
Oh, Dad, they all look the same to me. I was just wandering the street and passed one and went in.
That's enough. That's enough. He talked to you. God talked to you. And that's how we know his hand is at work. And if God talked to you, to see how to seek him, for you to seek him out and see his face and then come to the realization that others are using his good name for their own vile deeds.
Yeah, well, I'd been having a bit of a bad time, you know. Some friends of mine got hurt and all.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Aye. And didn't want to fall down on bad habits, you know. Started to feel myself fall into a bit of a hole. So, you know, whatever led me there, it was it's helping me reflect a bit.
Well, I'm glad it has. Perhaps I should also go to church more often. And you already know he goes to church like 4 times a week, maybe 5.
Well, I'd like to come with you if possible one day. Just they always just seem to give me the you know, the side eye as I go in and all.
It's because they don't know you as I do. They don't understand you as I do. But God does. And he loves you. But more importantly, I love you, son.
Love you too, Dad.
And if he asked you to be in his presence, it's because probably he has seen past what has come before. Maybe that's a sign for me as well. Maybe he's talking to me through you, that I should move on and see past your past deeds.
We all make mistakes.
Yes, son. I just don't want to keep making the same one for much longer.
It's fine. Anyway, I should probably leave you to your show, Dad.
It's fine. This is a rerun. Do you want something? You want a cup of coffee? You want to stay tonight, or are you going out? Do you have work to do?
I got a little work to do, but maybe I can just stop first, or to, just a quick one. Someone a bit stronger, take the edge off.
Yeah.
Nothing, just...
Good Irish coffee will keep you up all night.
That sounds good.
And he prepares one for you, and a regular cup of tea for himself. And you sit there half in silence, sort of watching the TV for a single episode of The Chase before you are back on your way. You have engaged with your touchstone in a meaningful way. You have recovered the use of your convictions as a way to shield further stains in the future. And speaking of stains, Matilda. So you are left at yours.
Yeah.
And you are told about the information that I gave you earlier about the people who have been killed, and they were in 2 different locations.
Oh, yeah.
It seems that someone who was present, involved, no one knows for real, but it would be a good point of contact for you to address that, is a member of the whatchamacallit, the Bristol Coterie, the anarch member of the Bristol Coterie, a guy named Chris Lewis, but he's known as Ragnar. That's his name.
Oh, okay.
Ragnar is probably the person you would like the most to see gone from the city. He is a known troublemaker. You've probably encountered him in person once or twice, and he's just... all in all, he's just an unpleasant... well, he's not even a human being anymore, and it's just an unpleasant gangrel.
Have we met him? Is he one of the ones that we sent on his way, near the polling station? Or no, he hasn't come up yet.
No, well, Ragnar is one of his friends. Yes. He is the troublemaker one. Remember when we had that conversation?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, so you've met him, and yes, Ragnar is there. I mean, he is a member of the multi-faction coterie, and his Camarilla mate died.
Okay. What clan is he?
He's Gangrel.
Gangrel. Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, I'll make arrangements to go and have a chat with him.
You don't need to. Right now, as things stand, you have free reign to drive and move for the purpose of things that need to be, keeping the peace. So the conversation with Obasi was not keeping the peace. This is keeping the peace, because that's what the library is doing.
Then I'll go and have a chat with him.
Yeah. So you go to where he is. And he's there with a few friends outside in a park on a bench having a chat.
Okay. I'll just stand to the side. Well, I'll get close enough that he notices me, and then I'll just kind of very subtly beckon for him to kind of leave the group and join me.
He sees you. He looks at his friends. He whispers something. Some of them are going like, "Yeah, you go, boy." and then someone screams like, "You need condoms," or whatever, something like nasty like that. And he walks like very, confidently to you. And then he's like, "Hey, Matilda, looking good. How
Right,
are
enough of
you?"
that. No, not tonight.
What happened?
tonight.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I need some. I need you to let me know what happened the other night.
What other night? There's many nights. It's been many nights.
Oh, don't fuck around, Ragnar. The night, election night.
Oh, election night was busy. Didn't go to vote. Couldn't be bothered. But apparently a lot of people had a stake into that.
Yeah.
Following election night, there were people around Bristol who were supposed to keep the order, I guess.
Yeah.
But they were angry, and I think they were right to be angry. They were
Anarchs.
Yeah, our people, Matilda. We were angry. I don't know why you're not angry.
Yeah, I'm angry. I just have a better hold on it.
Well, forgive me for not being so stoic about it.
I will.
But
So what happened?
people got angry, others got angrier, and then things got a little violent, and then when the dust settled, there were a few commies who paid.
Who got angry?
I mean, some might have been angry a little bit more than others. I'm going to ask you to make a resolve plus alertness roll.
Alertness.
Awareness. Sorry.
Awareness. Okay. Can do.
Actually, no, it's a wits plus awareness. Wits
Okay,
plus
wits
awareness.
awareness. Can do.
Because it's in passing. It's something that you're not focusing on.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, fucking awful.
Ooh.
I might. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll roll willpower
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be full willpower because you regain willpower from your from the new session, but also because you met your desire previously. So
Okay.
yeah, go for that.
So it's just 2 that I can reroll. Is that correct?
No, 3, all 3.
All 3.
Yeah.
Gosh, okay. Useful.
That's much better.
There we
You
go.
notice him acting weird.
Like skittish, a bit nervous.
No, like completely, like he would have like a tick. He has this sort of like a instinctive mannerism of like looking like sort of rapidly, and then he composes himself, and then goes and scratches and again. You know enough to know that some gangrel have certain air about them after they have been controlled by the beast. And this makes you think that Ragnar still has some of that gangrel animalistic mannerisms about him while he's that he cannot control, but he's trying to.
Okay.
But you roll enough successes to see through him.
Okay, I'll take a step forward and just kind of get into his personal space and just lean in and just say, Ragnar, I think it's very important right now that you're honest with me. You tell me why you look so nervous. I'm just here to help.
Nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous at all. And also,
Don't
you
lie
wanna?
to me.
All right. You want to know the truth? It's going to be your word against mine in a way. And no one gets the better of me on that, ever.
Go on.
Well, I got angry. And I got both Oscar and that bitch that was with him, also Akami. And it wasn't an easy thing. I mean, not everybody can go 5 versus 1 and end up in one piece after slaying 2. Getting the others probably in torpor. I don't know. I don't care. So you can go and tell anyone. I have the certainty nothing is going to happen to me. The stars are with me all the time. Ask anyone.
Stars.
Nothing sticks. I don't know if it's destiny, a god, or whatever. I just know that nothing sticks. Nothing sticks ever.
What the fuck were you thinking?
Well, I thought
What the fuck were you doing?
I could get out. I can't get out with it. I thought I could make them pay and get out scot-free. And look at me here. What are you going to do? Accuse me? There's not going to be evidence. Probably the people who also was in a fight will forget something. I don't know. Something always happens, but it's convenient. And I'm still here in one piece. And I will stay here in one piece.
For now.
Do your worst, Matilda.
I will.
Better and more powerful kindred. I've tried no one. I'm untouchable. I'm invincible.
Why? What gives you this confidence?
No, you really want to know, don't you?
Yeah.
Charisma plus persuasion. I can't say his pool. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good roll. 4 successes. Do you want to re-roll those two non-successes that you have for your black dice?
Yeah, why not? I'm not using it for anything else.
Okay. Re-roll 2 willpower dice.
Cool.
Ooh, that's another 2 successes. 6 successes. So he just now closes that, you breach his personal space, so he breaches further. He goes like, well, what stories have you heard of Prince Nathaniel?
Enlighten me.
Well, back when he was Primogen Nathaniel, he was still a big shot. Some people say that he can see the future. Now, I did not believe in those things. But then, a fledgling, not given a domain, I get the old herald to come and say, hey, Prince Nathaniel is asking for permission to have, Primogen Nathaniel is asking for permission to have a conversation with you. He wants to go into your domain and have a meeting with you. And I thought, why the fuck would the Primogen want a meeting with me? So I was curious. Didn't have a domain. I secured it really quickly. I don't know how. He already knew the address he was asking permission for. He didn't say why he wanted to see me. He hasn't seen me. He said that meeting will happen in about 20 years' time. You see, he had already seen in my future that in 20 years' time from me being a fledgling, I would be around. At some point, he changed the date. He made it closer, so I treaded carefully. He changed the date again. He made it further away. As things stand now, last time we checked, he's not meeting with me until 2028.
Don't think you're being manipulated.
Ask around. I've gotten away with much more than what you think. Some people don't even talk about the time I slapped the Prince of the Camarilla. I did. I slapped him with the back of my hand. And Prince William? Nothing. No retribution from anybody. People even hushed the matter because it was such a disgrace. But that's when Nathaniel said, you should, well, so he didn't say it, but he let me know that I should tread carefully because he changed the date and he pulled it closer. So I made a little point of not being intimidated or moved. I have survived being run over by a bus into a river. Was lucky enough that from the debris I was covered. A single ray of sun didn't touch me.
So you think you're immortal?
Well, I saw the masked man who jumped on the election night on everybody. And if they are truly agents of the Camarilla level, let me tell you, they're well funded. And I was right in front of one of those fuckers when his night vision goggles failed. Failed, Matilda. We were in the dark and he couldn't even see my red eyes. And he says that his eyes glow. He couldn't see my red eyes glowing and going for him. Things work my way, and they will work my way for the next 11 years, Matilda.
So it shouldn't be a problem if I tell the prince what you've done then.
Good luck. By all means, good luck. Go. Talk to him.
I will. Thank you, Ragnar, for your cooperation.
Good night. And of course, if at some point you want to go into town, have a good time, and, you know, forget about that whole election being scrubbed, you know, an immortal will help you. A truly immortal one. Help you have a good time. See you around, love. And he turns around and walks.
Alright. I'll walk back to my car as well.
Okay. And Nangisel and Janish. So we left you with Nangisel going to look for information.
Well, I think I'm going to get some from Dermot. Oh, that's what I'm expecting.
Excellent. So Dermot,
to find out.
Dermot, you're leaving your dad's house, and you're getting the information and the numbers and the things. And you get a message from Nangisel, probably to meet. So.
Yep.
Okay, so you meet probably, most definitely, at the Coterie Haven, the new HQ.
Yeah, I'll be going through some camera footage, doing some coding and checking, just trying to look for these names that they've given me.
Cool.
All seem distracted and annoyed.
Oh. Okay, so there you are. Go.
Okay.
You nudge.
All right, Dara. How are you seated?
Yeah, I'm okay. Kind of.
Huh. Well, that's about the same as me then. I'm okay, kind of.
Bad news?
Suppose you could think of it that way.
What's wrong?
Oh, it's a long bloody story in it, like everything else. But
Give me the short version, you know.
I'm trying to decide whether or not somebody is pissed all over something I care about, and if they have, what I should do about it. That's the
I'm
short.
feeling much the same.
Oh, really?
One of the Cam that died was one of my clan.
Sorry to hear that. Did you know him well?
Know them all pretty well. He's a good fella.
Well, I know this person pretty well as well. So I guess I sort of know how you're feeling.
you're not certain what to do about it.
I ain't decided what to do about it yet.
Well, always
I
happy
reckon
to talk it over if you want, or if you'd rather just ruminate for a while and listen to music, you know. Sometimes that clears the mind.
I reckon this bloke, on my end of this anyway, I reckon that he's been feeding people a line. I can't decide whether the best course of action is to call him out about it, or whether just get rid of him.
So wait a second, you think somebody might have been lying to somebody and you're not calling them on it?
I mean, it's just a level, right? A degree to which you call him on it. I mean, he is disrespecting me in the place where I live. So what I'm deciding is, do I put him in the ground for it? Or do I do nothing about it? Or some other side in between?
I'm not wanting to malign you or anything, but occasionally you have made a mountain out of a molehill, you know.
What?
So,
Would you...
have you tried having a proper conversation with the person first?
Why would I do that with someone who's a liar?
So you can look them in the eyes and see whether or not they're lying directly to you. But you already know that.
I'm pretty sure he's a lying scumbag here. I think he's making shit up. And I think it is... Sorry. I can't figure out why he would do it. But that don't make it not the case. And besides, if I talk to him, what's to say he's not going to lie to my face? It's not like telling if someone's lying is my strong suit.
Well, you can only do what you feels right, Nanj.
Just mad at him.
Sometimes you just gotta let your temper cool for a while. I felt mad and all.
What did you do when you got mad?
Oh, I clubbed somebody with a spanner, you know, because that was the rational thing to do.
So no lectures then, right? You clubbed someone with a fucking spanner.
Well, it was fucking Annie.
Calm about things. Well, you didn't do wrong when you clubbed her with a spanner, did you?
Well, no, I know, but it's not. I mean, you know, that's one example. There might have been times when I've gone off the handle and I wasn't exactly right, so...
Do you know what? I've been right a lot lately. That's all I'm saying. And, point of fact, none of the times I've gone off the handle have been not worth it.
Nanj, you do you. I'm not going to... you know, I can only be honest with you. If you think you're right, then call the bullshit. You've got to be honest. If you think the person's lying, tell them you think they're lying.
Could do that, can't I?
We've got enough lies and deceit and murder and all
suppose
kinds
you're
of
right.
shite going on at the moment, and the last thing we need is just another kind of, you know, knife in the back.
And if I'm right, I can still beat him to death, can't I? Nothing to stop me doing it.
What apart from your own conscience, you know?
No. Because if I'm right, he's getting what he deserves. That's nothing to do with conscience, that's to do with justice.
Depends on your view.
What's your view?
Well, a wise man told me that sometimes there's bad seeds, but they just need to be replanted, you know. Redirected.
Redirected, you say? Like I move somewhere else?
Sometimes calling them on their bullshit's just all that's needed to shine a light in their face and put a mirror there and let them see that actually somebody recognizes they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Sometimes that's all's needed. Sometimes a bit more encouragement. But do you really want to blacken your soul over such things? You're a good person, Ange. You know, you try and hide it, but you're a good person.
What do you mean, blacken my soul?
You know, if you take bad actions, then it affects you. Look, I know you and Janusz have got this whole thing going, so...
Wait, what do you mean, the whole thing going? What do you mean?
You know, you have your own beliefs and the gods are watching over you, but I'd imagine that the gods of, you know, your group are much the same as my gods, you know. They don't want you to do bad things. They want you to live a good life and be honest with one another.
It's not that simple. Sarah, you know, it used to be as I got talked to by the gods, and now I don't. And now it's changed, and I don't want to have back.
But you know, God doesn't just talk to you. I mean,
I
He
know
does.
that.
But
I know. I spent a long time doing all the things I had to do to make that happen, and now something's gone wrong. And the only
even
thing
those
I'm saying
people,
is this guy.
even those people, like, you know, believe they're blessed or anything else. I mean, even Jesus, there was times where he couldn't hear, but he had faith. He saw himself through. And I think sometimes you just gotta, you know, it's just testing you. So
You think
gotta
that's what it is?
I think it's a test, you know. Life's a test. If you think that, you know, there's an element, if they've talked to you, then sometimes they don't. At least they talk to you once. I mean, some people don't get that ever. You just have to live a life that's just devoid of anything. Do you know what that's like? That silence.
Yeah, I do. I lived in it for a long, long time, and then I came out the other side of it. And I don't want to go back there.
So
I
as
don't want to go back there.
So as Nigel is saying these words to you, if you mentioned the silence, you hear whispers in your head, Dermot. There can be no more silence. And then, and this is not you losing it. This is the cobweb. Someone is reaching out to you. There can be no silence. It's a female's voice. A small girl playing in the woods. She's dressed in an old-fashioned. Images change. She's running away. She's pricked her finger against a rose, and the rose seems to scare her. You see, she turns to where the rose is, and this is a woman with a Roman nose profile, walking after her. She sees us, Dermot. Seek me out. Seek me out. And that is where we're going to draw the session to a close. Thank you very much to my players and guest players of tonight.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Carlos.
You're welcome. Thank you to everyone who is watching All the Ghouls. Thank you for your results on that last vote. You'll love making messes, and I love trying to portray them and put them in the screen. So let's see how that vote pans out. If you don't know what it is that I'm talking about with the votes, just join our Discord and you will know everything, and further information can be found in our Patreon. Until then, we're going to go, and we're going to love you and leave you, and return next Monday for episode 4, season 3 of Blood on the Severn. Until then, take care and goodbye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Oh,
Bye.